on the homework set, because not every exercise allows us to be able to use the table features on the calculator to our benefit. And this is one of them. The reason that this is the most frequently missed problem on the test is if I were to ask you how many salaries were observed, what would your answer be? 5. If I asked you how many people are involved, what would your answer be? But the big mistake is people put just those 5 salaries into the list and then run one variable statistics on there. Aren't there multiple people that receive certain salaries? Then if you want your calculator to help you with this problem, when you put it into the calculator, you have to expand the abbreviated information that they've given you. Meaning that you're coming over here and you're saying, you're saying, I'm finished with this information, so let me get rid of it. I observed a salary of $450. How many people had a salary of $450? Only one. I observed a second person with a salary of $370. How many people had a salary of $370? Only one. I observed someone that had a salary of $270. How many people had that salary?
5.
Then you'd better have 5 occurrences of 270 in there if you want the calculator to do the work for you. So there's a second one, there's a third one, there's a fourth one, and there's a fifth one. And notice now you're starting to scroll, so you're losing track of things. And these, again, double check to make sure. What else did you observe? 210. How many people had that salary? 4. So there's the second, there's the third, there's the fourth. And now what other salary remains? And how many of those are there going to be? The remainder. But how many total are there? So is this a useful piece of information to be able to see? Because you got to get down there to the point where you put in 20 pieces of information, and those missing pieces of information are all going to be 195. So 195, 195, 195, 195, 195, 195. Now I have all 20 pieces of information in because the calculator is waiting for number 21. So I've got all 20 pieces of information in. So that was an abbreviated list they gave you. And as an abbreviated list, you had to blow it up. You had to expand it. And when you expand it, now you're ready to come back and run one variable statistics on that list. Oops, list 1. So mean salary is very good. 238.25. Median salary is not on this screen. Median salary is 210. Which of those two values, in your opinion, would be a more reasonable measure of central tendency? The mean, the median, or the mode? By the way, we didn't list the mode. What's the mode? What's the most frequently observed salary? 195. Now, does that 195 come anywhere close to being in the middle? So it's not the best measure. That one's out right away. So now you've got mean and median to pick from. Which one do you think is going to be a better measure of central tendency? Why? So look at the 238s. How many people have salaries that are below 238? Those 4 people that have 210, and those 9 people that have 195, so are there 19 people, excuse me, not 19, are there 13 people that have salaries that are below 210? How many people have salaries, excuse me, above 238? How many people have salaries above 238? The remainder of them, right? So if there's 20 people, how many salaries would that be on the top end? 7? Does that look like it does a good job of identifying the center of the distribution? Well, it could, but not necessarily, because I got a huge amount of weight on the lower side. So let's look at the median. How many salaries are below 210? Only 9. Those are the people that make 195, right? How many are above 210? So we have those 5 people that made 270. We have the 1 person that made 370, and we have the 1 person that made that one. So there are 7 people that are above the 210. Does that do a better job visually of identifying where the center is? It isn't always about the weights. In this particular case, median would be a better value because there's probably an outlier in that problem. And I don't know whether the outlier is going to be closer to 195 or whether it's going to be the 450. But that 450 could be just as bad of a value because it's significantly farther away from those 210 values. Now, you'll never have to explain it, but you might have to pick out a reasonable explanation about why that is. This is one problem that you're not going to be able to use the calculator the way you would like to use it. You have a list, but you have to unabbreviate or blow up the size of that list. The other problem that causes difficulties is this weight to